Hey guys, so a question I get asked all the time is about my portable DJ equipment. So in this week's video, I've set up all my equipment in my kitchen and I'm going to run you through everything I take around when I go and do a mobile disco. I'm going to tell you why I bought it, where you can get it, and everything else you need to know. Let's do it. Okay guys, so as you've seen, I've done a couple of videos on teaching you guys how to make money from your hobby of DJing. And whether you like it or not, if you're new and you're starting out, you're probably going to start out doing things like weddings and kind of mobile disco events. That's the best way to start making some money quickly from DJing. If you are going to get into it, you're going to have to buy your own mobile DJ setup like this. This is what I had to do. Once you do this and you've got a website, you start getting some business through the door, you can start making quite a bit of money from buying this equipment. So without further ado, let's actually run you through exactly what I bought and exactly what I take to every mobile disco I do, whether it's weddings, birthdays, pubs, any events where they're not going to have DJ gear set up for you and you have to take your own. Let's do it. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to have to get is a DJ booth. Now there's loads of different DJ booths you can get. I've actually got two. One of them is just a regular basic table, but the one that I end up actually taking all the time is this one. It's an Equinox Starlit booth, and I'm going to say before I go any further, I'm going to put links to all this stuff below this video so you know exactly what I've bought and exactly where I've bought it from. Most of it is from Amazon, and I've also bought a lot of it from this website called Tomman or Thomman. I'm going to put the links up on the screen as well so you can see. So it's this booth here. If you want to come a bit closer, I'm going to show you it in a bit more detail. So if you come and have a look over the table here, what you'll see is it's a cloth that just kind of goes over a metal frame like this, so it packs away really quickly and easily. It's just two bits of plywood here, if you can have a look, which just kind of go over the frame, and this is where your DJ decks and laptop and everything else like that sits. This frame here just kind of folds into nothing, so it's a really portable and easy thing to use. Okay, so the next thing I've got are these two trusses, they're called, and they're just kind of like these metal plinths that you can put stuff on top of. They're quite classy looking, they're quite lightweight, they're probably the most difficult thing to pack away because they don't fold away to anything, but I've got two and they're perfect for putting lights on top of. So the lights I put on top of mine are these LED moving heads. They're not on at the moment because they're really loud and they just make a lot of noise, but basically they kind of bounce around like this and they can swing around like that and they send lights all over the room. They're really cool. The ones I've got here are MHX25s. Again, I'm going to put a link under this video, but these are the ones I've got. And if you look over here as well, I've got another one over here, same thing. Pretty much two of everything from this point on, guys. The next thing I have are these speakers here. They are VPX Studio Masters. Model number, yeah, VPX15. They're really, really good speakers, these guys. So they're just cool. I've had them for years now. They've never really broken. I've pushed them to their absolute limits. I've had these things playing so loud. They've never broken. They're really solid. I've dropped them. They've fallen over. I mean, they've been through it, these speakers. They've never broken. I really highly recommend these. I've got these kind of just regular stands over here, so you can find these on Amazon and stuff like that, these stands. They're lightweight, pack away really easily. I've got a Studio Master bass unit here, which is basically just a sub-unit, so it just plays all the frequencies under like 250 hertz, that kind of thing, and it's perfect for if you are doing a bigger event where you've got a bigger room. Sometimes these smaller speakers won't fill the room, but a bass unit, the bass just fills up the entire room. So if I'm doing a small event, I would typically just take these higher speakers along, but if I'm doing an event which has got a bigger room and I really want my sound to just fill the room, that bass unit is the thing that's going to do it for you, so it's really, really cool. Okay, cool. So the next thing I've got here are these like, they're called uplighters. The ones I've got are these Y-Fly Par XA5 ones. They're chargeable, they don't heat up, so if a kid goes and touches them, they're not going to burn themselves. They're perfect things. You put them along walls and they just shine lights up against the walls. In the dark, they completely change the color of a room and it works really well. They're really awesome. I've got 6 of these and I take varying amounts along. I'll also charge more for these as well. If I go along and do an event, I'll say if you want uplighters, it's extra money. But they're really cool. And the other thing is, I get a lot of people asking about how I get that cool effect in the background of my videos. Like, some people think I've got really cool wallpaper. It's not, it's just these uplighters shining up against the wall behind me. So I use these uplighters in all my YouTube videos as well. They're really clever things. You can set them to different colors. You can have them affect the sound as well. So if it's pumping music, you can have colors changing to the music and it all works with sound. They're clever things, really. They're really cool. So the next thing I have are these lights up here, which are exactly the same kind of thing as the uplighters. These ones here are called CLB 2.4 LED PAR, if that means anything to you, but I'm sure you can type it in and find out more about them. Similar thing to the uplighters. They just shine lights out. You can have them flicker, you can have them move to the sound. They're really, really good, and they're just perfect for just changing the entire atmosphere of a room and making it seem more like an actual disco. Okay guys, so the only other thing I tend to take with me is multiple plug sockets and extension leads. Sometimes you may do a wedding in like a marquee or something like that, and the generator will be outside the marquee giving you the electricity, and you've got to have long wires to plug it in because you may need to be in a different part of the tent or whatever. So having multiple extension cables is always a good idea as well. So there we go guys, it's not a huge amount of stuff, but you don't want to have a huge amount of stuff. You want it to be quite mobile. That's the whole point. What you've got here is a mobile disco setup, basically. Now obviously what you guys are looking at here is it quite cramped together because it's just set up in my kitchen in my house. But even if I was given like a really big hall or a stage, I can space all this stuff out and it actually looks quite impressive and can fill even bigger spaces, especially when I've got 6 uplighters all around the dance floor and stuff. This can look really, really impressive. And then the other thing as well is, because I've got quite a lot of gear, I can then customize packages. So for example, I have a package called the VIP package, which is this one here, where you get these extension, these trusses here and the bouncing lights, and you get additional uplighters. Or I charge more for that. I'll charge more for uplighters. So if somebody just wants more of a basic package, I'll have even less stuff. So if, for example, if it's just a small event in a small room somewhere, they probably don't need these huge lighting systems. They could just have 2 speakers, a DJ booth, this light here, and 1 or 2 uplights, and that would be fine. Okay guys, so that's pretty much all of my gear, and this kind of stuff can fit in a big car or a small van. So as long as you've got a reasonable sized car, this stuff will actually pack down and fit in quite a small space, so it's quite portable. Okay guys, so now you've seen all my equipment, let's talk about money and investment, because let's face it, this is a business. Yes, we all love to DJ, but the reality is, doing weddings weekend after weekend, you'll soon begin to dislike doing wedding DJing. It's just not that fun. For example, I love to do house DJing, as in house music DJing. But at a wedding, you don't get to play much house music. You'll end up playing just pop music, the same old hits, Michael Jackson, it'll be the same songs every weekend. So the truth is, I only really did it for money. So let's talk about this from a financial point of view. How much did this all cost me? How long did it take me to make the money back? How much did I make from doing wedding DJing? This is interesting stuff. If you're thinking about getting into this, this is the main question that's going to be on the tip of your tongue when you're looking at all this gear. Yeah, but how much does that all cost? So let's do it. Get your pen and paper ready. This booth here, I think cost roughly about 250 or 300 pounds, something like that. These DJ decks, they cost about 600, 700 pounds roughly. The Mac, just in case you don't have one, well, I mean, you can buy different versions of these, but I think this Mac costs about 1,200. But of course, you can use any computer you want. Same thing with the DJ decks, you don't have to buy 700 pound DJ decks. In fact, I've seen many DJs turn up at weddings without any DJ decks. So I've got a video which I could link to where I'll teach you how to DJ on a laptop if you want to. So these trusses I think cost about £100 each, maybe it's like 50 to £100 each. These moving heads here and here, the ones which bounce, cost about £250 each. Then I know the speaker system in total, so this speaker here, this speaker and the bass unit came to about £1,000 in total. It was really important to me to get really high quality stuff because I wanted to go into the market at a premium level, so I didn't want to just be one of these DJs who turned up with really cheap stuff. I wanted to be a DJ who turned up with really quality stuff, so I could charge higher prices straight away. This is something else to bear in mind. If you guys have just done the maths on all that, and you're like, well, that's just too much money, you can start with a lot less equipment and do really cheap gigs and then build up. But I just saved up, got the more expensive stuff right from the word go, so I could start charging more premium prices from the word go. Anyway, so the speaker system cost about £1,000. This thing here probably cost about £150, £200, and then each uplighter, I think each one cost £250. Okay guys, so I am terrible at maths, so I actually just stopped then to do the maths on it myself, and it is, if you were to get this exact setup, that would be £5,500 roughly. But having said that, 1,500 is for a Mac. Which I don't even think these Macs are, this isn't the newest Mac, so this is probably cheaper now. Obviously you don't even have to get a Mac, you could get a PC that could be worth £300 and save yourself quite a lot of money there. You don't have to get really expensive DJ decks either, so you could probably get this price down if you wanted to about £4,500. But roughly speaking, I would say your mobile setup is going to cost between £4,500 to £5,500, and then you can work that out to dollars, which may be more like $7,000, but I don't know, that's just off the top of my head. Okay, so guys, even though I've told you a couple of ways you could potentially shed a bit of money off this, it's still a big investment, and I'm very aware of that a lot of people won't have this amount of money to just go out and buy all this equipment. So you can start off cheaper, but I didn't, I just bought it all. So, moving forward, I want to talk to you about how much I charged and how long it took me to make this money back, because obviously that was an investment put down. How long did it take me to make the money back? So, I started off charging £250 per wedding, and I probably did about 10 of those before I began to put my prices up, and these days I charge more around £400 a wedding. And by the end of year 2, I had done over 32 weddings. So the first 10 I did for £250, and from that point on I moved up to £300. I did about 10 for £300, moved up to £350, and moved up to £400. So it didn't take me very long at all to actually make this money back. So guys, I'm just doing the maths here as we go along. I did the first 10 weddings for £250, which obviously came to £2,500. I did the next 10 weddings for £300. So that's obviously £3,000. So right away there, after 20 weddings, I'd already made my money back on this equipment. And since then, I've done about 30 to 35 weddings a year past that point. So, over the last couple of years where I've been charging £400 a wedding, I've been doing about 35 a year, which equates to about £14,000. Now, bear in mind guys, if you've got this equipment and it's working really well for you, you can scale. This is what a lot of DJs do. They'll then get other DJs on their books, they'll buy more equipment and send other DJs out with more equipment and pay them a salary and take more money off the back of that. So for example, if you were charging £400 and you sent a DJ out, you could pay him £200 and keep £200. So if you have a second DJ going out as well as you could be making half this, because obviously you'd be paying him half what you make, so that could be an extra £7,000 there. You could have 2 DJs, 3 DJs. It's very, very scalable. And in the same way as it's scalable going up, it's scalable going down. So if you've got a full-time job and you only want maybe an extra £2,000 or £3,000 a year, you could buy this equipment and just do 5 or 6 weddings, you know, maybe 10 weddings a year, something like that. A very manageable number, and you can just add a little bit of money onto your salary. Because that's kind of what we're talking about here, guys. When all's said and done, this is just a business. And this is what I wanted to kind of teach you guys and show you, is you can take your hobby of just doing DJing in your bedroom and just doing a couple of mixes, and you can make a fairly decent amount of money. If your boss said to you tomorrow, how would you fancy making a £14,000 bonus next year? For most people, that's a huge amount of cash. And obviously, it's not the easiest thing to do, and it may take you a couple of years to get there, but who cares? If I said to you guys, okay, how would you fancy making £14,000, or if you're in the States, that's probably more like $16,000, how would you fancy making this much more money in 3 years' time? You go, yeah, cool. So just think, I'm gonna get this stuff, and in 3 years' time, I'm gonna be making this much money, and you can grow it and grow it if you get good at this, guys. So there we go. My little rant is over there. This is the equipment I bought. Those are the reasons why I bought it, because I did the maths beforehand and I knew that this is the amount of money I could be making if I did this properly, which is what I did. And if you stick with it and you're determined and you've got that kind of mentality where you're happy to invest money, knowing that you're going to lose money to start, but you're going to make it back and continue to make a profit for years to come, then this is a perfect thing for you. And guys, if you are young and you're like, I've nowhere near enough money to do that, don't worry about it. You can just think, well, how much money do I make with my job at the moment? Cool, I'm going to start putting some of this money aside, and I know in 2 years' time I'll have enough money to buy a mobile DJ setup like this. And you know that if you save up a certain amount of money, you can start a business like this and start making money. So it's really cool. I'm really enthusiastic about this kind of stuff, and I honestly believe that anybody can do this. It's really simple. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there for today. If you've liked this video, make sure you give it a like. If you've got anything to say or you've got any questions at all, make sure you leave a comment in the video below. And as per usual, guys, if you haven't DJed before and you want to know more about DJing, I can certainly teach you everything you need to know about doing a wedding DJ set and much more at beginnerdjlessons.com, where I'll teach you everything about every single knob on this DJ deck and every different technique that you would ever need to know to do your own DJ set. And if you guys are more into doing music production and creating your own songs, I've got a course out there at beginnerabletonlessons.com where I'll teach you absolutely everything you need to know, from not knowing anything about producing dance music right the way up to producing amazing tracks which you can then DJ out at your own events. So guys, I hope the video has helped, and I'll see you guys next week. See you next time. Ciao.